like the sun, you can feel the heat. Whoa. When the pressures rise, building up inside, trying to break it down, but you come back stronger, ready to fight. Can't wait any longer. It's our time. It's like a force of nature. No stopping now. It's the start to make it. Stronger than that. It's like a force of nature. No stopping now. It's the start to make it. Stronger than that. Stronger than that.
Ethan Burrell from big spin by the 50-60s. It won't be enough. Chris Record on the back of Johnny Johns, who covers the spot. Johnny, it's going to Victor Lane at the Daytona scores the win. The home place beer completely by
It's like a force of nature. No stopping now. It's the start to make it. Stronger than that. It's like a force of nature. No stopping now. It's the start to make it. Stronger than that. Stronger than that.
Hello, everyone out there, and welcome back to the Elite Racing Network, as tonight we will show you the Clash from Atlanta. If you are a pole winner from last season, you get to run in this race. There was an open beforehand that also gets you into this race. So it should be an exciting short race tonight. We're going to have one set of tires that you're going to get in this race. When do you take them? Is going to be a big question here. Joining me in the booth is Robert Hill Jr. and David Huckleberry. So tonight, guys, you got one set of tires. It's 50 laps. There's a caution that's going to come out on lap 25, but do you want to get your tires right before that caution, right after that caution? How would the strategy shake out? What do you guys think, as tire wear does happen here at Atlanta?
Yeah, I think I would definitely try to, especially being myself, I go through tires quite easily. So I would try to push off as far as I can to save an extra set at the end to make a real run at it. I know there's probably going to be guys that'll pit relatively early, try to make some sort of strategy where they could just split the second half of the race, but for me, I would definitely be pushing it out as far as I can to see what I can do at the end.
Yeah, and this place, it drives like a super speedway now. You know, as we know, this is the first race in the Elite Racing Network on this version of Atlanta. And you might think it's like Daytona or Talladega, which in a way it kind of races a little bit like Daytona or Talladega, but the tires do wear. You do have fall off. You do have, these cars will start, these guys will fall off about a second over the course of a run. Second and a half, you have to lift. Dirty air being a big effect here. So when you get those tires is very much going to matter, unlike at Daytona or Talladega, where, I mean, you could run the race on the same set of tires at Daytona or Talladega and be okay. As you can see here, looking at our starting lineup, we have Scott Crump, Josh Adams, Trevor Elam, Shane Therian, Trey Holmes. Those are our top five. You can look through the rest of this field, see Tyler Fody, Jeff Green, Nicholas Sudik, Wyatt Nadel. Almost messed that up. Almost said Canadal. Tom Bourne, Josh Robin, and Michael Goodman are the top 12. And we have Brett Jones, David Tooker, Bronson Stafford, Matthew Weeks, Garrison Hogan, Chad Frankenfield, and then I believe after Chad Frankenfield, we get into the guys who raced their way in the open, and that is Wesley Crump, Zach Rogers, Dustin Dewar, Rusty Capel, and Michael Hosack.
Yeah, definitely a nice mix of drivers there, including a few of my teammates that I know definitely worked really hard to try to get into this one. As we see Scott Crump here in that number 90 machine. Crump, one of the guys that's usually finding his way to the front of the field in quite a few of these races. I'm sure he's going to be one to watch here tonight, Chris, as like you mentioned, it's a bit of a new layout here at Atlanta. It's sort of a super speedway intermediate hybrid, and that's certainly going to make it an interesting event here tonight on the Elite Racing Network.
Yeah, and real quick, David, what do you have to say about this race? And I believe you have the sponsor reads over there in front of you if you want to hit those real quick for the Cup Series.
Sure, I can hit those up real quick. So tonight is the joinaps.com is sponsoring the Clash. APS offers a complete solution for all types of businesses that need to process credit card transactions. Their industry-specific solutions provide the best options for your business model. They have experienced client service representatives who understand what your processing needs are. And we have our three premier partners for this season. TA Services, for over 33 years. TA Services has been a trusted domestic and international full-service third-party logistics provider, offering freight brokerage, managed transportation, warehousing and fulfillment, and cross-border logistics services to shippers around the globe. TA Services moves what matters to you. Let the TA Services team make ship happen for you. Try to trip me up with that one every time. Blue Egg Marketing is one of our other premier sponsors. Some phrases do Blue Egg are the marketing department for small businesses. We're your marketing department. Blue Egg is your biggest fan. And finally, our new premier sponsor for this season is BreezyCam. Breezy is a venture-backed tech company based in Toronto and Boston. They are on a mission to reimagine the group photo experience. To honor the days of carrying around a tripod or selfie stick, they help their customers and users tell better stories around meaningful moments. Let anyone tap into nearby cameras to capture group memories at iconic places as if users were controlling their own native camera app, except now from a perfectly positioned vantage point. Today you can find Breezy at well-known sports venues and cultural landmarks across 4 continents.
Well, boys, I believe we are getting ready to come to the green here. You guys, and for everyone out here, we're doing this on a replay, so you might not see the scheme that you're supposed to be in or that you know that they are supposed to be in. We had some technical difficulties the night of this race. As we come down to go green, the green flag is out. Who you guys got to win here real quick? Any picks?
Yeah, I think the easiest bet would be to take one of the 8 cars. It seems like half the field loves the number 8. There might have been a sale at the decal store. But in all seriousness, I think I'm going to go with Garrison Hogan in that 23 machine. Garrison always strong in these races, and I think he's got a good shot in this one.
I think I'll take Scott Crump. I feel like he'll get a good start to the season and get a win right off the bat.
Yeah, and I will not take anyone as we come down to complete lap 1, and that is no-no land down there below that red line. It's going to be enforced kind of a case-by-case basis, as if you just barely go down there trying to give that guy some room, that's okay. But if you go down there to attempt a pass, you will get black flagged for that, so that's something they're going to watch. And the new restart procedure is in effect tonight, as we see right here. Everybody, the top line is going to be very dominant based on what we saw in the Open, what we've seen in this new Cup car at just Super Speedway Racing. The side draft seems to affect the guy on the bottom a lot worse than it does the guy on the top. As you can see right now, they're lined up on the top, and a few guys are lined up on the bottom.
Yeah, the one thing I'm seeing so far is really when the pusher tries to get to the back bumper of that lead car on the outside, it just looks like it's really upsetting the balance of the car. As we see Josh Robin here trying to get to the back of Jeff Green to push him around Shane Terrian, but these guys are actually going to get together fairly well here. Bottom also nice push, Shane Terrian with Garrison Hogan. Scott Crump was looking middle there. He'll get back in the high side, but it's going to be interesting to see how this race pairs out, if it's going to be a tandem race or if it's really just going to be follow the leader, get in line, and see what happens. But this is it's definitely going to be an interesting event. Obviously, like you mentioned, first night at Atlanta, and it's definitely going to be fun.
Yeah, and just to set the stage here, there is a stage on lap 25 with no caution, and a stage on lap 50 where they will throw the caution. And on lap 25, if you win that stage, you are guaranteed to start on the front row of the last restart, the caution at lap 50. That restart, you'll start on the front row. If you win at the second stage at lap 50, you will start second. So they will be racing for something at lap 25, lap 50, and as long as you stay on the lead lap, you will get to start there on the front row for the final 25 lap segment.
So
As
with
we
that,
have a side-by-side battle for the lead, Shane has gotten all the way up here beside of Jeff Green.
yeah, nice battle here between Shane Terrian and Jeff Green. Their pushers are definitely going to play a big part in this as well. I know from my experience here at the New Atlanta, it's all about the push you get. Otherwise, you're just going to be stuck side by side, not really being able to make a move. But, as you mentioned, Chris, the stages are going to play a big part in this one as well, setting the stage for the final restarts of the evening. But you know that intensity is definitely going to pick up around those stages because people know that your starting position is so important on the restarts.
Oh yeah, especially at a place like this where, yeah, it's kind of pack racing. You're watching at home right now, and you're sitting here and you're looking and you're saying, wow, it looks like Daytona Talladega. They're just running around wide open. You're actually not. If you're on the bottom, you've got to crack the throttle a little bit. And then, these guys in traffic, you're lifting. You're getting out of the gas. You're having to lift. You're making sure you're carrying momentum off the corner. This is a pack race in a bull ring is the best way I know how to describe it. This would be like taking, these guys and just throwing them out here, and they don't have the super speedway package on the cars. I do not believe that is the super speedway package. I don't know for sure. It might be because they're limited on the horsepower. So yeah, it definitely is the super speedway package. But these guys are really, really having to race way harder, way closer. It's a little more narrow than Daytona or Talladega. You're working harder, and tire fall off is a huge, huge deal out here. We're already seeing it now. The guys will start handling bad, especially if you're in traffic. You'll see them start pushing up towards the wall. If you're on the outside, you'll start running higher and higher and higher. And if you're on the bottom, it's going to get really hard to run the bottom here after about 10 or 15 laps.
Absolutely. And, just a moment ago, I saw Jeff Green in front of Josh Robin there, and it looked like Robin was trying to get to the back of Jeff Green's bumper, but they couldn't get lined up square. And that is going to be super important in any kind of bump drafting to make sure that you are square on the back bumper of the car ahead of you. Otherwise, you're going to send them around. And, unlike Daytona and Talladega, there really isn't a lot of space to get around incidents here, as the actual racing surface is not overly wide.
Yeah, and you're seeing a good push right now from that top lane. You got Jeff Green out there with Shane and Josh Robin behind him in the good-looking Folgers machine there for Josh Robin. And then you're on the bottom, you got Crump, you got Tom Bourne down there, and right now the outside line just has more cars, more momentum. Shane's going to try to get down here and take the lead from Jeff Green. He's not going to be able to clear him, going to be stuck, and advantage Jeff Green at this point. Jeff was able to run through that corner wide open without lifting. Shane pushed a little bit on the bottom. He's going to get some help here, but he's already lost all the momentum he had when he pulled out to attempt to make this pass.
Yeah, Jeff Green, definitely one of the stronger drivers here on the super speedways. Another guy just 2 cars behind him on that outside lane, Josh Adams for 21 Savage Auto Sport in that number 1 machine. Josh is our pole sitter this season for the Daytona 500, which will go tomorrow night on the Elite Racing Network. But Josh is one that you want behind you in these super speedways. He's a great pusher. As you see, he's really helping that outside line go, and Jeff Green has the option to drop down, as does Josh Robin here in front of Shane Terrian. They're just going to remain in line for now, but as you see, we're halfway to that stage here, and these guys are going to start getting a little pushier.
Yeah, and the cars are starting to handle. You're seeing them creep up higher and higher, especially the further back you go here. And like you said, Josh Adams, I don't know if that's a guy I want behind me as much as it's maybe a guy I want to try to follow, because if he's behind you, Josh has this way of running these races that is, if I'm not leading, how do I get there? And it doesn't matter if you're a friend, a teammate, he's going to do what's best for him and try to get himself to the front. He has a strategy at these races, and who's to say that he is wrong, because it is proven right many times. As you said, he's a very good super speedway qualifier on the pool for the 500, but he finds himself with a chance to win a lot of these races at the end. So he's coming up through there. You got Tyler Fody right behind him as we ride on board here with Josh Robin, and you can see these big runs he gets off the corner. These cars create such a hole in the air that you get a huge run at the guy. You see, you go down in here, you have to lift. He's lifting right here. He's having to lift. And now he's going to get back to the throttle, and Jeff Green's kind of out there on an island all by himself. And so Josh comes at him with a ton of momentum. He has to decide, do I want to push him? Do I want to pass him? He's going to ultimately decide to push him. They're trying to just keep the track position.
As you saw on board with Robin there, he'd get a little bit of air, and the car didn't look very comfortable as he did have to crack the throttle a little bit behind Jeff Green. Top line kind of single filing out a little bit for the top 4 or 5 here as Garrison Hogan continues to lead the bottom lane, but I think Scott Crump's probably going to be looking to jump down there shortly, as actually it looks like the top 3, Josh Robin to the bottom to lead that to lead the front of the field now.
Yeah, and what you want to do in these cup cars to make a pass with like that, when you're lined up in the top and you want to pass the leader, what you want to do is you want to pull out and get right on that. Oh, and Josh Robin's going to go backwards big time right here. So he's going to be in the middle 3 wide here. He's going to have to fall in line. It looks like maybe behind Josh Adams. But what you attempt to do there, and what you saw Josh Robin try to do, is you pull out with the run, and you want to pull out before you hit that guy with the beach ball. You can pull up to these guys as we're going to go 3 wide again down the front stretch.
A little bit of contact between Hogan and Crump there. One thing I noticed just a moment ago, just ahead of this camera shot, is Zach Rogers in that 4 machine. That's a lap car that they're coming up on, and they're going to be hoping that he goes to the apron or just makes his intentions clear. That's so important on these super speedways as a lap car, to just make sure the leaders know what you're going to do. Because the last thing you want, as you know, Chris, is coming up on a lap car and not knowing if they're going to go high, go low, go middle. You just don't know. And Zach Rogers just holding the bottom here, that's exactly what I would want from a lap car.
Yeah, you don't care if the lap car's up high, down low. You don't care where he's at, as long as he stays consistent. Because as you're catching him, if he's staying consistent, you have a good idea that he's going to be there when you get there. You know what he's going to do. He's done the same thing, and he's going to do it again, and it's great. What you don't want is coming up on a lap car and then be at the top, at the bottom, and elsewhere.
Absolutely, and same when it comes to multiple lap cars together. You just want them to stay in line, but the battle is back on for the lead here between Jeff Green and Garrison Hogan. Josh Adams to the bottom as Garrison Hogan jumps to the top.
Yeah, that was barely clear, but you got to get up there, and that's going to leave Josh Adams with some clear track down here the first time all racing. And look at that. Jeff Green went down in there behind the guy for the first time in a while, pushed up, hit the wall. Just, that's what happens sometimes. You know, these cars, like I said, handling is a factor here, and handling was a big factor there, and Jeff Green losing that track position.
Yeah, Jeff Green gets back into line there in the 10th position, just ahead of the 89 of Brent Jones. Jones doing a nice job early on, just quietly outside the top 10 here. But Josh Adams continues to lead with help from Scott Crump and Shane Terrian on the bottom. Garrison Hogan continues to charge on top there, as it looks like Bronson Stafford into the wall in the 61.
That just shows you how much these right front tires are wearing out and how much you're wearing these right sides out. You're getting tighter and tighter and tighter. The dirty air gets worse and worse and worse, and you have to just start slowing down a lot more than what you think you would.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you mentioned previously, at certain times you will have to crack the throttle. You will have to lift a little bit at Atlanta. Yes, it drives like a super speedway, but it still has some of those intermediate characteristics that you really have to follow. As Josh Adams continues to lead on lap 22, coming up towards that stage here on 25, as you mentioned, Chris. And it's going to be quite interesting to see if the intensity picks up here with just a few laps remaining in this stage.
Yeah, and everybody's went to the bottom. There goes Scott Crump to the top. Not what you want if you're Josh Adams, is to have somebody get to your outside, and Crump's going to get clear, get the lead back. And what you want to do is, Scott Crump, it was pretty easy for him to get to the outside of Josh. But I talked about it a little bit earlier. There's a beach ball effect. You want to get a run, and you want to pull out before you get to about, 5 feet, that 5 foot spot, 3 foot, 5 foot. It starts moving that car forward before you hit it. What you want to do is get the momentum and pull out before that. Get right on that guy's left rear or right rear, as we're going to go 3 wide here. You saw Josh get right on Scott's left rear, pulling back, and that's going to back Scott up in the middle.
There's that intensity we mentioned earlier, as David Tooker's on the high side 3 wide with Tyler Fode and Scott Crump here. Tooker was back outside the top 10 just a moment ago. If I'm David Tooker here, I'm a little nervous with Scott Crump blinking in the middle, because you do not know where he is.
Yeah, I would not want to be on the outside of Scott Crump while he's blinking like that. That is definitely not I'd say a lose-lose situation there. And Tooker, it looks like he's trying to back out of it, but he's got such a run off the corner. And the car in the middle, when you get into the middle with this style of racing, you just back up. You're just backing up. So we will get 1 lap to go on the stage. Again, for a reminder, there is no caution at the end of the stage. There will be at the end of lap 50. It looks like Josh Adams, Tyler Fode, Jeff Green, Stain Therian, one of those guys right now is looking to be the guy that is probably going to win this stage. We will see. Oh, Stain ducks to the bottom. Oh, but I think he got loose. I don't think he went down there intentional. And Tooker's all of a sudden got a shot of this on the outside. Oh, Tooker's up in the wall.
A bit of the wall there.
Here we come down to the end of the stage. It's going to be Fode. He's going to try to pull out and make a run at Adams. Josh Adams will win stage 1 here, and that will guarantee him a spot on the front row of the lap 50 restart.
Yeah, Josh Adams definitely used to starting out front in these things. Obviously, as most of the field is, with this being our pole winners here in Elite, looks like Josh will fall to the back. Like you mentioned, he has that guaranteed spot on the starting front row there towards the end, so he might as well fall back, keep his car in one piece, and just have a chance to really ride this one out. As Tyler Fode now in the lead. Like you mentioned, Jeff Green second, Shane Therian third, Scott Crump fourth, and Matthew Weeks fifth right now, as Weeks has really come out of nowhere to work his way up into the top 5.
Yep, Josh Adams falls to the back. As long as he stays on the lead lap, he is fine. And don't think he's going to lose a lap here before the next 25 are ran. So now it's just taking care of that car. As you can see, the handling is becoming a bigger and bigger factor. They are not packed up like they were. It's really hard to go too wide. A big run here from Weeks, and Shane's going to take that run. Weeks is going to commit to him. That's going to get Shane clear of Fode down into 1.
Yeah, what I'm seeing here is Matthew Weeks with his teammate Trey Holmes behind him, or actually his affiliate Trey Holmes. They're going to try to hook up as soon as they can. You know that they will, as Pro Edge and
tight squeeze there for Trey. He did not want to be down there working with Shane.
No, absolutely not, as Trey will try to get to the back bumper here of Matthew Weeks. What a move by Trey Holmes in the 88. You know, we saw him earlier on the apron. Now he's up here in second place battling with Shane Therian.
Yeah, Matthew Weeks looks like he did a great job of taking care of his tires. He has a lot of right front left. He was able to work the traffic there as everybody else started getting a little ill handling. And this thing is going to start to string. If it stays green, it will start to string out. You will start to have guys who really will not be able to stay with this pack. Look at everybody try to go in and try to run the bottom, and they just can't. The car just slides up the track.
Yeah, absolutely. You're looking at the field. You see the guys that have saved their tires. Trey Holmes, I've found, is one of the better guys at saving tires. He's taught me how to save tires. I still am terrible at it, but you know, Chad Frankenfield is well up there in the third position. Chad's kind of worked his way up quietly through the field, and he's going to make a run at these guys too if he can get hooked up with Scott Crump, and he'll try to make a pass on the outside probably.
Yeah, Chad Frankenfield's going to try to
go to the inside.
Yep, he's going to try to get under him. We'll see what Matthew Weeks does. I think Scott Crump will probably go with Chad Frankenfield. Yep. Chad's going to have a big run right at the end of the straightaway. Look at Chad. Chad is not one who's going to sit on a run. He's going to take that run, try to get to... Oh, what a side draft. That is very tight right there.
Yeah, if anyone's going to try a nice tight side draft like that, it's definitely Chad Frankenfield. He's not afraid to use a little bit of aggression to get up there. Chad racing clean but racing hard, and he wants to get ahead of Matthew Weeks at any time that he can. He's got Scott Crump on his inside, and you know that's a guy that Chad wants to work with to try to get past Weeks here, as Garrison Hogan's going to get to the back of Chad and try to push him around.
Yeah, and I cannot express, and you know this, Robert, too, as watching these guys right here, how ill-handling they are right now. Like, you're racing this hard, this close, side drafting each other, and just these cars are handling awful right now.
Yeah, absolutely. You know the tires are wearing out here. As we saw Scott Crump get into Shane Therian there. Therian's going to fall back. I don't know if he has some nose damage here, or maybe his tires are falling off, but he's going to be 3 wide here with Tooker and Fode just falling through the field. Therian was up front just moments ago, and now he's looking at falling outside the top 10.
Yeah, I don't think he kept tires on it very good. As you can see, we've got the leader, Garrison Hogan, again, but he's way out front with the push coming to Matthew Weeks. Look at how big of the run. Weeks is going to sit on that. Weeks did not try to pull out and pass. He could have tried to pull out and get side by side. He chose to sit there, try to do it again, but that really hurt his help. Scott Crump was not prepared for that. I believe we have caution on the speedway, the way everybody slowed up right here. Yes, we do. Caution is out. It looks like it was a wreck there. Jeff Green looks like he might have been involved. Hosack has lost a lot of time. Stafford, Bourne, Fode, all those guys look like they might have been involved in that wreck.
Yeah, definitely unfortunate to have a wreck here at this point in the race. They've done a really nice job of keeping it green for the first 34 laps, but Chris, I think that these guys are thinking tires.
I don't know. I would have a hard time putting tires on right here. You know you're getting a caution at lap 50. I would not want to run. You only get one set. You get one tire change.
You're
I would
right.
not come and get them right here.
You're right.
But
Yeah,
somebody might.
if
Somebody
you're
might.
if you're a little further back, you may consider it. Looks like
Chad
Chad
Frankenfield.
Frankenfield.
Chad's going to come down.
Shane Terrian comes down as well. We saw him get the wall earlier. Tyler Fody. Trevor Elam looks like he's on pit road as well. Quite a few cars actually on pit road, as it looks like only 7 cars stayed on track.
Well, I think everybody's pitting here, but I don't know how many will get tires. I think
Zach
you got guys
Rogers
with
takes the
damage.
lucky dog.
You got guys with damage. They're going to fix damage. Some guys are going to put fuel in the car. That way, you change tires faster than you put fuel in the car. So that's going to try to speed up their last pit stop. As you see, Josh Adams is in. He is not getting tires. None of these guys that are coming off here have gotten tires.
Tom Bourne will win the race off pit road here, battling Brent Jones. Brent Jones doing a nice job. As we see Michael Goodman, Josh Adams. Yeah, a couple cars definitely getting some damage fixed there. Long stays on pit road for Elam, Terrian, Fody, and Green. Not sure if these guys will be able to continue from this angle. They don't look too bad. But
I will say one car got tires right here. One car made a 4-tire change. Chad Frankenfield has made a 4-tire change right here, so he's out of tires for the rest of this race.
yeah, that's definitely going to be something to watch. You know, if I'm Chad, I've taken my tires. I did forget earlier that it was just one set, but 40 laps to go. That's a long time on these tires. So if I'm Chad, I'm going to try to hang back a little bit and just try to save a bit of tires. But at the same time, everyone's going to have tires in about 15 laps. So
Yeah, do you try to save that set? Do you back off and save? 15 laps is a long time, even if you're only running part throttle. Or do you just go win the stage, start yourself on the front row, try to keep it?
yeah, Josh Adams on pit road here.
He's just making sure he's getting to the back. He said,
Yeah, that's right. He did win the first stage there, so he's guaranteed the starting spot on the front row. But yeah, when it comes to the tires, I think, geez, that's actually a tough one. I think based off of everyone pitting here in about 15 laps, there will be some fall off from the tires no matter what. So yeah, I think I would push. I think I'm going to try to go to the front, win the stage, and at least be closer to the front and have less work to do to get up there.
yeah, it's a tough deal. I wouldn't hate the call if you weren't guaranteed a caution, but we know that there's a caution coming in 15 laps. So I don't know. I mean, it's not a points race. Throw it all out there. Try something different. We'll see what happens. And we will see the new restart procedure in effect here as the restart zones are going to be enforced with the new sim updates. So you cannot go until you get to that blue zone. But if you do not go until you get to the exit, once you get to the exit of that blue zone, the green will wave. And it's free game for everybody, whether you're the leader, second place. It doesn't matter who gets the jump.
As pace car's off, Garrison Hogan will lead the field here.
Yep, Garrison, Weeks, all these guys are on old tires. He gets into the restart box and he goes. Good launch. A little wheel spin. They are on old tires.
Yeah, nobody really gets hooked up there, but as you mentioned, the old tires are probably coming into play at this point. But looking back at Chad Frankenfield, he is stuck behind Michael Goodman on the high side, and he's going to have to do extra work to get around these guys with just 13 laps remaining in the stage.
Chad's bailing. He's
Chad's
bailing.
actually bailing back, yeah, so he may be going for the tire preservation strategy here as Josh Adams and Tyler Fody go by him here. But,
yeah, I'm not sure I agree with that. You were running fifth or so when the caution came out, and you kind of put yourself at a deficit. You know, we'll see. I mean, I don't know. I don't like the call.
Yeah, we're definitely going to have to see in that final stage how it pans out for Frankenfield, as that, like you mentioned, was a little bit of a questionable strategy. Obviously, you got to try everything. As I see Wyatt Canadle here behind Trey Holmes here in P6. Wyatt doing a nice job working his way up through the field. He's going to be getting up here behind Josh Robin, now back down behind Trey Holmes. But nice to see a wide variety of guys. Brent Jones there, David Tooker on the outside, Trevor Elam. Nice group of guys up here just pushing hard, trying to get their face out there, try to get their name on TV and see what they can do to try to win this stage.
Yeah, and it does appear that most of the guys in that first wreck, they are okay. They are continuing on. And Chad Frankenfield is giving up almost 2 seconds a lap at this point. He is really just, he's going to try to start third, I would guess, is what he's going to do for the last stage. He pitted, got his tires, got his fuel. So he's just going to try to start third. He's not even going for that front row spot.
Yeah, you got to think Frankenfield's probably about half to three-quarter throttle right now. Just hanging by himself, trying to save his tires, see what he can do in the final run. Obviously, it is a shorter run at 25 laps to the finish, but Scott Crump doing a really nice job out here in front of Josh Robin.
Yeah, we got Crump, Robin, Holmes, Hogan, Tooker, and Hogan and Tooker swap spots there. 10 to go here in this stage. We're going to be 3 wide, and this is not easy like it was 25 laps ago being on these older tires. Tooker's going to get up into the wall.
Tooker gets in the wall once again here.
But it's okay. He had help. He had the draft. He didn't have to lift. He's going to go to the bottom. He's going to go from the wall to the red line, and he's going to be in second. Is he going to get clear? Holmes gets loose there.
Yeah, it looked like some major netcode actually. Saw some sparks coming off of Tooker's machine, and that triggered Trey Holmes getting loose. I don't know if it was a reaction from Trey or if there was some netcode impact, but Trey Holmes definitely falling back there. Scott Crump battling now with Garrison Hogan. This has been ongoing pretty much all night.
Tooker did blink right there when that happened, so that definitely looked like it could have been some netcode.
Yeah, big blink by Tooker that might have triggered that here. Trevor Elam now to the outside of Tooker as the battle continues between Hogan and Crump here for the race lead. Lap 43, 7 laps remaining in the stage.
Yeah, and we just see Hogan and Crump sitting out here kind of 2-3 car lengths ahead. Trey Holmes coming back through. He looks to be really good here on the long run, and he's got Matthew Weeks with him. He's going to drop to the bottom. Does Weeks drop with him? Not yet. Weeks is kind of split in the middle. Weeks comes to the bottom. He was just trying to get some clean air. Now he's going to come to the bottom. He's going to push his teammate. Holmes is going to get clear.
Matthew Weeks being a good pusher here tonight. Definitely someone you want to have as your ally out here. Scott Crump and Garrison Hogan continue battling as these guys are racing 2x2 throughout the field, trying to see what they can do in the late part of stage number 2 here. As these guys are looking pretty good.
Yeah, we've got Hogan sitting out there right now all alone as we got 6 to go here at the line. Big push. Crump chose to not take a run. Trevor Elam's going to try to go down here and take the lead. Really no help right now. He's falling back. Lost momentum. Now he's going to lose that spot. He's going to lose another spot. Just falling, like one bad move there to try to take the lead. He was trying to take the lead off of 2, and now he's third row.
Yeah, all it takes is one bad jump from one line to the other, and your draft is absolutely ruined, as we saw there with Elam. Luckily for him, he's able to get back in line third on the bottom as these guys will continue to battle for the race lead.
Yeah, a little bit of issues here with the replay, but it's all straightened out now. As we see Garrison Hogan, Josh Robin has gotten through to second. Crump is going to get back in line, and Jeff Green, he was involved in that first wreck. He's back up here.
Very close there between Green and Holmes as Jeff Green drops from the top line to the bottom. Scott Crump blinking a little bit, but that's no issue as he'll battle side by side with Hogan.
Yes, side by side for the lead, but Crump has no help.
Yeah, that's
Jeff
one thing
Green's
that's
got a big
definitely
run
helping
here.
Hogan is that push from Robin.
Get down here to the middle of the corner. Scott Crump is going to pull back up to second, but it looks like they're more formed up on the top lane right now.
Top lane definitely looking more uniform here as Robin and Jeff Green will stay in line with Garrison Hogan. And there's a little bit of a gap here between Crump and Trey Holmes. So Crump does not have the push that Garrison Hogan has on that high side. And you can see it as the top line is just jetting past them.
Yeah, and one thing we did talk about Chad Frankenfield as we come to 3 to go in the stage. He is 20 seconds behind these guys. He is just riding, hanging out, trying to get to the end of this thing as we have 2 to go. Excuse me, 2 to go.
Ooh,
2 to go in the stage.
big hit in the wall there by Jeff Green, but he'll get to continue on here as Scott Crump Garrison Hogan in the wall.
And that ends his shot to win the stage. There's no way he'll build back up momentum and be able to pass all these guys back in the next lap and a half.
Yeah, definitely not what Garrison Hogan was hoping for. Everything that Scott Crump was hoping for here. To be able to clear him here as Robin.
Both lanes are going to have a pretty good run here. I don't know how Scott's going to be able to defend this. He tries. He gets down there. They make contact. Contact between them.
Here comes Elam on the high side.
Yeah, Trevor Elam's going to come through with the run. And Trevor Elam will be the leader at the end of that stage.
Wow, what a drive by Trevor Elam. You know, he was our race winner Sunday night in the truck series, and he's showing that he knows how to work the lines in these super speedways, battling back for the stage victory here in stage number 2. And that'll set him up nicely for the final stage, Chris.
Yeah, he will start second here in the final stage. It'll be Josh Adams and Trevor Elam. Just a crazy try to block there. You knew they were, once Crump got out there by about 2-3 car lengths off of 2, you knew both lanes were going to have a run. Which one had a bigger run? It ended up being the top. He tries to block Josh Robin, and he was a little late. They made a little bit of contact. No wreck. It was a very, very light contact. And what happened down there between those two guys going for it is a guy from behind them passed both of them and won the stage.
Yeah, and you know, we really have to give credit to Jeff Green there. He was involved in the earlier wreck and was able to battle back to 3rd position. Also, Garrison Hogan holding on to 6th place after getting the wall. Trey Holmes was having a strong run. Matthew Weeks as well. And just behind them, Zach Rogers in the 12 car. He actually got the lucky dog on the last caution, was able to work his way back up to 9th, and Wyatt Canado rounding out the top 10 in that stage. So some strong runs by a wide variety of vehicles as they'll all come down to pit road this time, except for most likely Chad Frankenfield.
Yeah, Chad already got his tires. Everybody else is going to come down for 4 tires here.
As you see Frankenfield stay out, like you mentioned, everybody else coming down pit road for 4 tires and fuel.
And real quick here, we haven't had a chance to talk to David yet. Dave, what do you think about the race so far? We're going to restart here with about 20 to go.
So far, it seems kind of calm.
Yeah, it's a little bit calm.
Calm before the storm.
Yeah, business is about to pick up, but I believe
but intense.
You got some sponsor reads over there for us?
Sure do. Let's do our premier sponsors first. Start with Breezy Cam. Breezy is a venture-backed tech company based in Toronto and Boston. They're on a mission to reimagine the group photo experience. Gone are the days of carrying around a tripod and a selfie stick. They help their customers and users tell better stories around meaningful moments. They let anyone tap into nearby cameras to capture group memories at iconic places as if users were controlling their own native camera app, except now from a perfectly positioned vantage point. Today you can find Breezy at well-known sports venues and cultural landmarks across 4 continents. That's Breezy Cam. Our second premier sponsor, Blue Egg Marketing. Blue Egg, the marketing department for small businesses. We help businesses punch above their weight class. And our third premier partner for this year is TA Services. For over 36 years, TA Services has been a trusted domestic and international full-service third-party logistics provider offering freight brokerage, managed transportation, warehousing and fulfillment, and cross-border logistics services to shippers around the globe. TA Services moves what matters to you, but the TA Services team makes ship happen for you. And our series sponsor, joinaps.com. APS offers a complete solution for all types of businesses that need to process credit card related transactions. Their industry-specific solutions provide the best options for your business model. They have experienced client service representatives who understand what your processing needs are. That's joinaps.com.
Yeah, and real quick here, typically Alex and those guys, we have a different crew for Wednesday nights, but this race fell on a Monday night, so myself and Robert, we do this for the preseason here for the Clash. But I want to give a quick shout out to Alex and everybody who donated money to Alex. And Alex should be back out here. We look forward to seeing him out here. Hopefully everything gets worked out. Everything works out like it should. And by the end of the year, Alex is back up here broadcasting the races on the Elite Racing Network. And everybody send their thoughts and prayers to Alex. And going through a lot of things right now. And we sure do miss him over here on the Elite Racing Network.
Absolutely. I couldn't have said it better myself, Chris. Alex is such a big part of the Elite Racing Network and Elite in general. He's always such a bright face, bright individual in the pack. And, you know, if he has a chance to watch this, he's definitely going to be enjoying the action. But if not, we definitely look forward to having Alex back with us soon. Like you mentioned, sending our thoughts and prayers to his family as Josh Adams gets a nice restart here with help from Chad Frankenfield.
Yeah, and everybody here is on fresh tires with the exception of Chad Frankenfield. So we will see if that is going to be a detriment to him or if he's going to be able to hang on with these guys as there are just 21 laps to go. Chad's going to go right for the lead here.
Yeah, I think Chad definitely has to make a push when he can because eventually these tires will hit that plateau where they just kind of fall off of what everyone else has. Josh Robin and Brent Jones here on the bottom trying to help Chad Frankenfield, but Frankenfield just not having that same pull that everyone else has had on the inside line. Actually, as I say that, he gets a nice run to the inside of Crump, and he's going to try to pull up in front of Crump and see what they can do to pass these guys.
And we have Adams and Elam out front here with Chad now through to third.
Yeah, so far things staying the same way they were on the restart with Adams, Elam, and Frankenfield the top three. As you look back here, Josh Robin battling side by side with Shane Terrian for that fifth position. Brent Jones battling with Fody. This is definitely some nice battles throughout the field all night long, and I'm excited to race this hopefully later this season. I haven't checked the schedule, but I'm hoping to have a chance to race this track here in Elite.
Here, and Scott Crump, oh, he's going to go with him. I thought he made the decision to stay up high, but he ultimately decided I'm going to drop down with my teammate, and they're going to drop Josh Adams. Oh, Crump is not going to get clear, though. Adams is going to have a big push here from Shane, and Chad does not block it. He stays down there loyal to his Ford teammate and Scott Crump.
Yeah, teammates definitely a big part of this event here tonight. Adams doing a really nice job with help from Terry, and Terrian's looking to the bottom now as it looked like Garrison Hogan got into the back of Fody and upset the car a little bit. They're able to keep going as Frankenfield and that bottom line are falling back just a little bit.
And Shane tried to get clear to get up, and he could not do it. That's going to bring Fody to second. We haven't talked about Fody all race long as they go three wide again down the front stretch.
Oh.
Contact. Oh, more
Terrian's
contact.
car upset. He gets sideways, and he's actually able to save it there and fall back in line. Nice save by Shane Terrian, doing a really good job there controlling that vehicle. But Josh Adams continues to lead with his friend Tyler Fody right behind him, and Brent Jones on the high side up into third place. Brent Jones doing a heck of a job tonight, Chris.
Yeah, where were these guys the rest of the race? Tyler Fody's the guy we typically see at the front. Brent Jones, we know he knows how to super speedway race. And here they are. All of a sudden, they said, okay, it's time to go up here and try to get the check. And now they're going to have a shot to win this thing.
Yeah, Brent Jones having Garrison Hogan pulling up behind him here. That'll definitely help that inside line because Brent, like you mentioned, he knows how to super speedway race. He's quite strong on these tracks, and he's going to try to do whatever he can to try to win this race. But Josh Adams looking really strong out front here.
Yeah, if I had to guess, it is going to be tough to shake those two guys on the tops. Those are two really good guys everywhere, but especially at places like Daytona, Talladega, and now, like the super speedway style racing at Atlanta. Fody and Adams know how to make the lanes go. They know how to work together. They know how to push. Those are two guys, two elite veterans who really are going to be tough until you split them up, if you can split them up.
Yeah, absolutely. And that high side just looks so much more formed up than the bottom. The bottom's starting to get working together, but it just seems like there's so much more pressure, so much more force on the high side that's helping keep Fody and Adams in front. But, Brent Jones and Garrison Hogan, they don't want to give up yet. They're going to keep pushing, keep trying, see what they can do with 14 laps to go here at Atlanta.
Yeah, as long as they hold the top side, push on the straightaways, it's going to be tough to pass those two guys on that front row there up top. And you can see Adams is running a little bit high and letting Fody get just a little bit of air through the middle of the corner. And that's going to help Fody keep some turn in his car, which is in turn going to keep his tires in pretty good shape. See how he's just a little nosed out? That's all you need is a little nose. Oh, it's Adams that's going to drive to the bottom. Is that a lane change they're trying to make there? Are they trying to get down to the bottom now?
Yeah, I don't know if he's just trying to stop the momentum of a couple of these guys, but one thing I'm noticing just
Fody with the look.
Fody,
And he
that
gets
was
tight.
tight.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a tight move there. Tom Bourne and Bronson Stafford were trying to hook up on the high side there, but the reaction from Fody.
Hey,
Oh, as they're
it's Goodman.
wrecking.
Jeff Green's around. It's a big wreck here. Oh, Josh Robin, Michael Hosack, Jeff Green, Trey Holmes, Trevor Elam is blowing up as he drives away.
Wow. These guys were having such strong runs here this evening, and unfortunately, especially for Elam and quite possibly Jeff Green as well, their nights are going to come to an end. As Jeff Green might have just been stuck on the track there.
Yeah, that's an issue with these new cars, but I think the toe is broken in that thing. Something is broken in that car. We'll see if he can maybe get it fixed up, or
He is going to fall a lap down here as the leaders get around him here. Trey Holmes, his car doesn't look too bad here, Chris. So I think he should be able to continue on, but Elam definitely out of this thing, and Jeff Green, like we mentioned, one lap down at this point. Definitely not the end of the world if Jeff's car is in one piece, but going to be tough.
it looked like that thing had lost its rear drive. It looked like that's going to be some pretty heavy damage there for Jeff Green, if I had to guess.
It definitely lost something because it did not want to drive too straight, but sometimes you really never know as he does take it to pit road. So I think Jeff Green going to call it a night. Michael Goodman, David Tooker, Michael Hossack, Josh Robin, White Knadel, also on pit road, as is Trey Holmes. So a couple of these guys probably fixing up a bit of damage, see what they can do.
I would venture to guess everybody on pit road is fixing damage because nobody has any tires. The Goodyear truck has left, and it's taken all the tires with it, heading back to Daytona to get ready for the 500 tomorrow. So these guys got what they got. If they all go flat, got to drive on them. It's up to the drivers now. We have no tires left to get, so if you're on pit road, you are definitely fixing damage.
Yeah, the one thing that's going to be interesting here is we have seen Adams and Fody work together for most of this stage here in the race, but they're going to get split up on the restart. And you have to wonder if there's going to be some sort of strategy involved in letting one of the other cars down, either Fody to the bottom or Adams, depending on which lane Josh takes here. But it's going to be interesting to see how the strategy comes into play, and if they do not go with the strategy, how the push is going to be from guys like Tom Bourne and Brent Jones to really set up this last few laps in this one.
Yeah, I thought they were working together pretty well, and then we saw Fody try to make the pass. Adams had to make the block, went right across each other's bumper. I thought I would agree with you if we didn't see what we saw there right before the caution came out, where Fody tried to make that pass.
Yeah, these guys are definitely friends, as we know, but at the end of the day, they're race car drivers, and what they want to do is win races. If I'm Tyler Fody, I'm not content finishing second. I want to take the victory, especially in a race that does not pay points or anything like that. I want the victory. I want to be the guy at the top of the podium at the end of this thing, and we only have 9 laps left, so Tyler Fody's going to do what he has to do, as Josh Adams will take the high side here.
Yeah, Josh takes the high side, giving Fody the bottom. One thing here to point out, Chad Frankenfield is still 6th on his older tires. They appeared to hold up. This is probably a positive for him. Everybody's got some heat in their tires. Everybody gets a yellow, cools them back off. This will probably help to even kind of everything out a little, as good as it can get. He's still going to be on a disadvantage, but this definitely helps him.
Yeah, we have a nice balanced breakfast here on the High Line with the body armor and the fruity hooties, Josh Adams and Brent Jones. But like I mentioned, it's going to be interesting to see if maybe Fody gives Adams a chance to drop down here, or if Fody tries to clear and move up. But we're going to have 8 laps to go when we go green. Things are about to get wild. And actually looking through the back of the field, Jeff Green has remained on track. So his car is going to continue in this one, just one lap down.
Yeah, 8 to go, and we just had a big wreck, so business is only going to get crazier from here. As Josh Adams will come down, he'll be on the top. Fody will be second. Brent Jones is going to be the pusher. He has to like the fact that Adams has picked the top.
Yeah, most definitely. If I'm Brent Jones, I'm trying to get as close as I can here to Josh Adams. Is really that didn't take place.
Yeah,
Nobody
Josh
really
with
got
the
formed
break,
up.
though. Look at Josh. He's way, way out there. But no real help behind them either on that second row, so Josh might get away with this one here.
Yeah, nobody really formed up, and Adams is not dropping down. I guess he thinks that maybe Tyler Fody is his biggest threat in this one, and he's going to try to do what he can to pull away from him a little bit. Brent Jones doing a nice job pushing here to try to get Adams further out front and try to clear himself so maybe he can drop down in front of Fody.
Yeah, the push that's the hard. Brent Jones is pushing Josh as hard as I've seen anybody push. Oh, contact, Scott Crump. Are they going to be okay? No, they're wrecking. Oh, it's Crump.
Oh, big hit by Rogers.
Oh, it's Jeff
Goodman, Green, Crump, Nadel also involved in that one.
Oh, a big hit there right at the end of that for Crump as well.
Why Nadel trying to get his car going straight. Garrison Hogan
Looks like Goodman is
absolutely damaged. Michael Goodman, he's worn the good out of that car. He's going to have to pull that one behind the wall. And Zach Rogers took a massive hit in that one, too. He's definitely done for the evening. Unfortunate night for him as he was having a good run in that crew chief's corner number 12 car.
Yeah, it looks like Rogers, Green, Robin, they all have decided to tow. They're done. That was the third time we've seen Jeff Green in a big wreck tonight. That's going to end his night. Josh Robin with the tow. That's going to end his night. And of course, we saw Goodman drive off, but he was blowed up, so he's just waving to the fans before he loads this thing up on the truck.
Absolutely, and that's going to put Josh Adams and Brent Jones as the front row on this next restart. And of course, it couldn't be a super speedway type race without a short run to the finish, Chris.
Yeah, and this is, again, good for Frankenfield. I mean, I think at this point, I think Frankenfield, he's going to restart up there. He's going to have a shot to win this thing.
Yeah, I'm looking at that top four, and I think Josh Adams is going to take the high side, try to line up with Fody, and give Frankenfield and Jones the pair on the bottom. As Adams wants to win this as best as he can, and he wants to try to control how Tyler Fody works his way through the field as well.
Well, here's the question: was Adams working against Fody by taking the top, or was he trying to work with Jones, or was Adams just taking the top to take the top because that's where he wanted to be? I guess we'll find out here if he picks the top. That's just where he wanted to be. It was nothing personal. It wasn't like he was working against Fody or trying to work with Jones. But if he takes the bottom, then I think it's pretty clear that he is working against Fody, and he knows he's basically determined Fody is the guy that is the biggest threat in his opinion.
I think he definitely does believe Fody's the biggest threat at this point, but I would also be thinking about taking the high side just because the tires are definitely going to be wearing out at this point. They're pushing harder than they have all night long, just a few laps to go on this one, and they want to have the room to be able to slide up in the corners. If you're on the bottom, you're going to have to lift more than the guy on the outside because the guy on the outside is going to be pinching you down and trying to stop any run that you're possibly getting. So if I'm Adams, I'm going high side all the way.
Yeah, I think I would go high side as well. I don't know how much you could trust Chad not to take you 3 wide if he gets the run. I think Fody's going to do what's best for Fody, but Fody also knows what's best for Fody is going to be to shove Josh out and then try to do something and not try to do something when he's side by side with somebody else.
Absolutely. As we see Michael Goodman's machine on pit road here, he's obviously done for the evening. Unfortunate for him, 4 laps to go as we are preparing for the final restart here momentarily.
Yeah, I believe we should be getting one to go here. Yes, we did. Josh Adams has picked the top.
Yeah, as we thought, Josh taking the top here. He definitely wants to do whatever he can to try to stay ahead of Fody, and I think the best way to do that is to be right in front of him. You can control his run on the outside. You can kind of block that high line, but I think Fody's also going to be the guy that you want pushing you to clear Brent Jones and Chad Frankenfield here.
Yeah, we will see. And Tyler Fody did get a piece of that first wreck. That first wreck, he got a little piece of it. We haven't seen him in clean air. He's all right in the pack, but if he gets clean air, will that thing be okay
And
if that opportunity arises?
And you have to remember as well, Chris, that Chad Frankenfield has the oldest tires in the field. So if I'm Josh as well, I'm thinking that Chad might not be able to get the bite on the restart to get on my bumper to push me forward. And that would easily allow Tyler Fody and Brent Jones just to pull away.
Yeah, I didn't even take into consideration the opportunity for Chad to be on older tires, but I just don't know how much that matters here. I just think you take the top and you tell Chad, you're basically trusting that Fody's going to push you, and you kind of don't. Chad, we know Chad takes every run, so here we come to the restart. We're going to get into the zone, and Adams is going right with Fody. Great launch for the top. What a launch for the top.
Yeah, Adams does a really nice job, but Chad actually getting a good restart here, getting right to the back bumper of Brent Jones. Jones doing a really nice job. He is currently in second place, and he's going to be door-to-door with Josh Adams here as Jones actually pushes just ahead of Frankenfield and Josh Adams.
Yeah, and these two are pushing at 3 to go, coming to 2 to
A little
go.
bit of contact there. Bronson Stafford and Matthew Weeks in the back, but battle up front. Josh Adams, Tyler
Chad
Fody.
is all over Brent Jones here.
Yeah,
First time I've seen somebody get shoved all the way through a corner. Chad said, let's go. It looks like that car's got plenty of bite on those older tires.
These pushers want to go. These guys are working really hard.
Yeah, Fody's pushing. Chad's pushing. The top's got better formed up. Oh, a little sideways pushing, but we're going to stay committed. Oh, shooting the middle 3 there.
That's Trey Holmes. Trey Holmes doing a really nice job rebounding from that incident he was in
Chad
earlier.
broke up. Chad and Brent broke up. That's going to let the high side get clear.
Frankenfield back to Tucker. Garrison Hogan.
Reckon did the caution come out?
I
I
think
think it's going to stay green. I think it's staying green here.
Bronson Stafford, Matthew Weeks involved, but Josh Adams is going to clear Brent Jones. At this point, he's got to work both lanes, blocking the runs.
Big run coming from Fody right here. Fody's going to try to take the lead. They're going to block. What a block. He was clear down.
Trey Holmes in the wall contact with Brent Jones. Josh Adams doing a really nice job in
I don't see
front.
any run formed up here. I think it's going to be Josh Adams off of 4 with the great block down the backstretch. Josh Adams, Fody, Frankenfield top 3.
What a night for 21 Savage Autosport. Zach Rogers took the victory in the open here this evening, and then Josh Adams taking the victory here in the Clash. Team owners Garrison Hogan and Trey Holmes Tate Lytle, not Trey Holmes, definitely have to be excited with this one.
Yeah, what a finish. The caution did not come out right there as they crossed the line. So they raced back, and it's Josh Adams with the win in the Clash. First win of the year here in Elite. And it goes to Josh Adams and the new ride there, new number, new team. But same Josh Adams running up front and winning these races.
Yeah, Josh did a really nice job here. You know, Brent Jones as well. He didn't get the finish that he wanted, but he was there. People know that he was there, and he's definitely going to be one to watch tomorrow night in the Daytona 500. Tyler Fody as well just really did a really strong job pushing, and Chad Frankenfield, he made those old tires work, Chris. We doubted him, but, you know, I guess we really shouldn't have.
Yeah, and what a race. Got to see a great race. Lots of green flag there at the start, and then it picked up there at the end. And I know that we typically don't do interviews here on these replays.
But I got a surprise for you. Look there in the waiting room.
Is this Santa Claus?
He did know we were doing this tonight, so yeah, I guess he's made himself available here to talk about his
Oh,
win.
come on. You got to give me credit. I peeked ahead and went and got him.
Oh, did you?
David
Like I said,
Huckleberry is
Dave-
Santa Claus.
That's right. Dave is the man. All right. We're now joined by race winner here. First race of the season. New team, new number. Still managing to run up front here at these super speedways type races. Take us through the Clash and what ultimately led to you getting the track position and winning the race there, Josh.
Well, first off, can you hear me?
We got you.
Cool. Yeah, it was, trying to, remember that race, but pretty fun, having to, control like the outside lane. Yeah, that's different than a lot of things you do at a super speedway. I think it's probably a little preview to what we'll see tomorrow night. But yeah, that was a pretty good race. Run up front and being in the pack, and holding those guys off.
Yeah, and ultimately, I think what one thing you're kind of forgetting here is how you won the stage. Were able to miss the mayhem there and get to restart at the front row there. Take us through winning that stage and ultimately how hard that was to do, and that really set you up to have a shot to win the thing at the end.
Oh yeah, for sure. Getting that stage win and being able to just pull to the back of the field was such an advantage because I only had to run really half the race, and then 10 laps or whatever. Those other guys had to run a full race, so it was definitely a good thing to get that, and then be able to set up up front. And like I said, it's so hard to pass once you get set up on the top. Be able to hold those guys off at the end.
Robert,
Yeah,
Dave, you guys
absolutely.
have any questions there for Josh?
Yeah, Josh, obviously the last restart there, you decided to take the high side. And Chris and I were kind of talking about it a little bit, thinking maybe you wanted the extra space to be able to move up because the tires were worn out. But then I noticed Chad Frankenfield was restarting third on the inside, and he was on the oldest tires. Was that a factor into your decision to take the high side, or was that just the line you felt most comfortable in?
No, I think that's just the line I felt most comfortable in. I know. I think Chris was talking to Tyler there, so he kind of knew when I was going to take off, and then ultimately, like I've said, that top line is kind of the one you want to be in. And yeah, I told Brent Jones when I was going to go, he was second on the bottom, so we kind of had a stranglehold on the front row, and I knew somebody was going to be behind me to know when I was going to push. So Chad being there didn't really have any effect on it.
Absolutely. David, you got anything for our race winner?
No, just give him an opportunity. Glad you could join us even on the rebroadcast. You want to give any shout outs to anybody tonight?
Oh yeah, for sure. That was the first race out there for Robert and I with 21 Savage Autosport. So my new ride in the one car is cool to be able to get that into victory lane the first race out. And then of course went and got the pole for the big race tomorrow night. So just shout out to everybody in the league. Hopefully we have a good race tomorrow, and good luck to everybody, and you guys on the broadcast tomorrow night. It should be fun to watch.
Well, all right. That was our race winner, Josh Adams, and that is the only interview we'll have for you tonight. Any final thoughts, guys, here before we wrap up things from Atlanta?
Yeah, Chris, that was really fun to watch. Obviously, side by side action, three wide action all throughout the race here this evening. Definitely going to be exciting when Elite does come here to Atlanta for a points race. I think we're going to see a lot of the same thing. Like I mentioned, there was a lot of different faces up towards the front. Brent Jones, Shane Terrian, Bronson Stafford, guys like that aren't always at the front that really got a chance to shine this evening. And that was really exciting. Obviously, looking ahead to the season, I think we're going to see a lot of really good racing in the Elite Cup Series, and I'm excited.
I want to say nice job to you both for doing a rebroadcast there. I think we did a pretty good job of catching everything without being able to do replays. We did a nice job of being able to catch the action back behind the leaders, and it was good we could get that captured and get that in the archive for everybody.
Yep, and I want to thank both of you for helping making this happen tonight, because it could have very easily just not happened at all, and it's a lot to do with Dave. So everybody out there, just know that Dave makes everything at the Elite Racing Network go round. Chad has a lot of stuff to take care of, and I think Dave's his number two, and he's a pretty good number two, maybe even number one some days, depending on what you think of Chad. So everybody out there, just make sure you hit Dave up on Twitter, follow him, interact with him. Dave's awesome. He's always willing to help. We message him about anything, and he's right there on the spot. So tune in tomorrow for Daytona. We got the Daytona 500 tomorrow night, and everything else kicks off this weekend as well. We got Friday night. We got IndyCar's first race of the year, and everything's getting back into motion. Everything's coming back. We're going to be with you 3-4 days a week. So check out the Elite Racing Network through the rest of the year, and we hope to see you there.
Chris, I do hear you have a really good-looking Indy car. Is that true?
Yes, I do. I believe you're the sponsor of that
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. I'll be watching you. I'll have my.
Hopefully I can do you proud, man. Like that's a new thing for me. That's a new endeavor. I want to have fun with it. I want to be able to run good and competitive, obviously, but that's a car I don't have very much seat time in at all. So I'm looking forward to trying that out, and I appreciate you coming on board and being part of it and supporting me as I go out here and maybe look like a fool.
7:30 Friday night from Michigan. Yeah. All right. Well, let's get on out of here, guys.